And we are back live in Los Angeles at the LAAC. My name is Dave Vincent alongside David Fink for this men's quarterfinal match. Marco Chavez wearing the Mondo Ortiz pro shirt.
Normally, Dave, you see guys wearing the shirt of their idol, but this is the reverse. It's actually...
Well, believe it or not, Marco Chavez was drafted to the Salt Lake City Aces. He's one of the very last players, actually the last player to be drafted to a team, and he is wearing his Salt Lake City Aces shirt here.
But what's really the point? I mean, the Aces are so far out of it. Is it really even worthwhile adding new players to their team? Luis Moreno, Dave, by himself has accumulated more points than the Aces combined.
Well, not after this tournament. Marcos is still on the clock here. And the announcement's coming in for the blonde bombshell, Alan Garner, and his gallery has also made the trek here to sunny Southern California. Marco Chavez, the hometown favorite.
Okay, we got
as described by Shorty Silva earlier today here in the booth, describing how popular Marcos is. Backhanded flip there with the right hand from Marco Chavez.
That was a backhanded punch.
And a quick point for Alan Garner.
This will be one of those matches, Dave, where you'll hear a lot of vocal fans here. Marcos is a local favorite, and Alan Garner's wife can sound like a gallery of 500 by herself.
And there's a laser kill from Marco Chavez, and that's what you're going to see, Dave. The crowd already notices that Alan Garner might have more sound out in the gallery than their players, so they're going to actually try to rival what's going on. Listen, after every single one of these points, you're going to see an eruption from the crowd. 2 serves 1, especially after an Alan Garner eruption.
Marco's just telling us, Dave, that he actually goes for those cracks on those soft lob serves, and he hits them with a lot of spin so that when they hit the side wall, they stay down. He said, you know, if I don't hit those soft lob serves with spin, they'll hit the side wall and hang up their huge setups.
Alan Garner's giving it to him back, though. I like that.
I truly believe, Dave, that Alan Garner is the greatest shot maker in handball. He can hit any shot with either hand from anywhere on the court. His really only obstruction, Dave, is his speed.
Even his misses are good.
Right. He's one of those guys that his misses are by an inch. You won't see him miss-hit a ball throughout an entire tournament. That's a great shot. Sets up this left-handed back wall. This is his bread and butter.
I don't believe Marcos has ever defeated Alan Garner, and I like that shot from Marcos. He hits the ball and then kind of just moseys forward to make sure he's in the way. 4 serves 2.
The last time these guys played, Dave, 2 years ago at the Fireball Classic, it was Alan Garner winning in 2 games, 21-16, 21-17.
Yep, over.
There was contact, and Marcos yelled it out before he got to the ball. That's a smart thing to do.
Well, TBB wasn't upset with the call. He was upset with himself there that he didn't put that ball away.
TBB is one of the very best corner kill artists I've ever seen. See how Marcos is able to get into Alan's way after every one of these shots? Don't think that's not on accident.
And just as we say, Dave, that Alan Garner won't miss-hit a shot throughout an entire event. That was a terrible miss. He rushed his shot there. Looked like he was a little bit indecisive. Looked like he was going to go to the ceiling and at the last second change his mind.
You mean just as you say, not we.
I thought we were a team.
6-32.
Guess not.
I haven't toured Australia. I haven't gone to St. Louis Cardinal baseball games. Not with you, I haven't.
Second serve.
And once that happens, maybe
but you have toured Australia and been to St. Louis.
Yes, but not
but we've been to St. Louis together. So.
Play it again.
A lot of replays here early in this game. But I think Australia, Dave, is the only place we haven't been together. We've been there separately. And we'll never go back.
6 serves 2.
Short.
Another short ball.
Both agree.
Marcos is going to go to the left side here on the second serve. This is dangerous with Alan Garner's great left hand. I don't know if I would serve to his left side on that second serve.
And there's that beautiful corner kill. That's as far as the ball can travel from that point in the court, Davis. He hits that shot diagonally from the restraining line into the right corner.
Four, serving 6.
4 serve 6. I thought Chavez had 7. Oh, that ball looked like it skipped on the ground. It was hit so hard.
Surprised Marcos doesn't let that come off the back wall.
Over.
A lot of redos, like you said.
And MDB is earning his paycheck for this refereeing duty, as he's already had to step in, Dave, 7 times in just 11 points scored. So we've had as many hinder calls as Marcos Chavez has points, and that should be an avoidable. And I'd hate to see, Dave, what could happen if Marcos Chavez loses this match and plays in the playoffs where players actually ref their own. That could really get ugly.
Marcos, give him a little room on the back wall there. You're pretty close on his back wall shot there one time. 5 serving 6.
Yeah, he was close, but Allen never knew about it. The score is 5-6.
Well, Allen's one of those guys.
Make that 6-6.
Allen's one of those guys, Dave, that won't complain about anything.
You're right.
Both agree.
In fact, I only saw Alan Garner say something to a referee or to his opponent one time. Dave Chapman was giving Alan Garner a hard time in New York, Dave. I know you weren't there, but Alan Garner walked out of the court and basically told him, look, if you talk to me like that again, we're going to have problems. And ever since then, Dave Chapman has never said a negative word to Alan Garner or anything even remotely negative. You don't want to have Alan Garner upset with you, Dave. I believe that he's probably the strongest and toughest guy in the history of handball.
Score here is 7-6. I went to Ireland with Alan Garner in 2006. We played at the Ulster Open, which was a WPH pro stop at the time. Sean Linney, Luis Moreno.
Actually, Luis was not there.
Emmett Pachot and Alan Garner at that event at the time. And there was a sort of kind of a running thing that during that whole stay in Ireland, when I would see him walking down a hallway, I'd kind of give him a forearm shiver. And at that time, I was, you know, the 6'3.5", 6'4" guy, and Alan was 20 years old or so, and I would just kind of push him around. And then one time we're walking down the hallway, and he decided to just lean in a little bit, and I almost went through the wall, and I am not joking.
8 serving 8.
You haven't pushed him since.
I decided that I was overmatched, and I gave up. Couldn't handle it any longer, to be honest. And I have a whole new respect for him at that point because I forgot about the little lean in, give him that little shove.
8 serving 8.
And so the way we covered up the big divot in the wall at the sponsor's nice house that they just built was to.
Did you take the Danny Bell portrait of himself that he sold and use that to cover up the wall?
No,
and charge your host for the painting.
Took the chandelier and just kind of positioned it just correctly so the lighting was off, and then the curtains were moved over to cover up the hole, and it was a big hole.
Now, Dave, I've heard of maybe an athlete having a painting made of himself and the artist doing it for free, but have you ever heard of a painting of yourself and then you actually go out and sell it? You make a profit on it. You didn't buy it.
I called it good. He peels the serve.
It's going to be overturned.
Disagree. A short serve. Both disagree.
You're right. It was a bad call from the referee. You see Marcos Chavez do that.
Serving 8, second serve.
Appeal the serve and just walk into the server's box where he said, you guys have to get this right. Marcos unable to get that ball to the front wall. Garner gets his 9th point.
9 serves 10.
And Alan Garner, Dave, has missed 3 balls with his right hand.
11 serving 9.
Handing Marcos Chavez 3 of his 11 points without even having to hit a shot.
This is the first match for Alan Garner in this tournament. Marcos has had to go through a qualifier. I saw him here Wednesday night playing 2-on-1, and it was it was tough ball here at the LAAC. So this is at least Wednesday, Thursday,
12,
Friday, 3
serving
straight
9.
days of playing hard handball.
Well, I'm not sure he played hard yesterday, Dave. That's an amazing
Wow.
shot from Allen. But yesterday, Marcos was just cruising as he won both of his
10
matches
serves 12.
very easily. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't take something out of you, but
Play it over. Play it over. Play it over.
Alan
called
Garner
it
did
late,
hold up on a swing.
I called it late.
surprised he did,
Replay.
though, Dave. He
Called it
must
late,
have
sorry.
really been obstructive seeing that ball, because
You were
from our
in front of him.
angle, it looked
You-
like
you
that
were
was the
seeing
shot that Alan Garner would want.
I don't know if you want to go to that corner kill like that. I think you want a 2-wall pass. So we can look at the replay here, but
He
I
was
like
behind
watching
you, and he
Marcos
came around you.
argue as well.
Well, you'll see a lot more of it throughout this match.
Replay.
That's a good call from the referee here.
10, serving 12.
10 to 12 is the score. I see why Marcos is arguing, but it was obvious that Alan Garner could have just drilled him right in the back if he wanted. Alan, in the middle of his swing, kind of gave up a little bit.
11, serving 12.
You see the score on the scoreboard, 11 to 12, powered by Zions, the official sports drink of the UFC. As that number 11 gets placed up there. Want to thank the UFC Zions girls for working the scoreboard here.
Serving 12.
We're all together at 12.
Short. Second serve.
You hear the crowd rooting for both players here.
13, serving 12.
I know a lot of people, Dave, following every aspect of this event. The 9th place playoffs, Dave, will be Charlie Shanks, already advancing to the finals by virtue of the Amit Pashot forfeit. He'll be waiting the winner of Victor Perez and Chip Morales, who will play at 12:30 tomorrow. Charlie Shanks will play the winner at 1:15. And the loser of this match, Dave, will go into the 5th place playoff and play Andy Nett. The bottom half of the 5th place playoffs will be Luis Cordova and myself. Both those matches starting at noon. Great corner kill there from the corner kill artist, Alan Garner.
Now, Dave, are you going to have to see Marco Chavez get tired here eventually?
Well, I think, and it's always hard to judge someone else's physical conditioning, Dave, but he seems like he plays so relaxed that he can play forever. There's no tension whatsoever in his game, and I believe that the tension is what exhausts players most. These guys playing a little cat and mouse right now. Whoever wins this match, Dave, will take on Luis Moreno, and both guys have had a good record against Luis Moreno in their careers. Alan Garner losing just twice to Luis Moreno, including the last time that they played. Marco Chavez, Dave, beating Luis Moreno 12 months ago, or about 11 months ago in Tucson at that pre-race event.
And a nice shot right there from Marco Chavez, who gets his 14th point.
Marcos also beat Luis 28, 21-2, 21-8 the first time they ever played about 3 years ago.
Short.
See if Marcos goes to the right side on his second serve. Going to the first over to the left, I think it's just dangerous with Allen. Marcos didn't have that serve back when I played him in the late 90s.
Alan Garner really out of position there. That was caused by the shot that he hit right down the middle, and he was pinned behind Marcos against that left wall.
Terrible serve. And another point for Marco Chavez.
And you have to shake your head, Dave, and wonder, how does Alan Garner miss these shots? The balls look so good. They sound good coming off his hand, and then
16,
just
third and
seems
15.
to skip so many more balls than you'd ever think he would. We saw that against Dave Chapman at race stop number 3, where Alan Garner should have won that match. Physically, Dave Chapman compromised, but Alan Garner just driving balls into the ground with a big lead, end up losing that match.
Well, Alan shouldn't have won that rally. Marcos
16,
had him on the
third and
ropes.
16.
Fades away, left-handed kill. Another nice shot right there from Marco Chavez at 17-16. Game number 1, rally scoring. Every
17, third 16.
play usually results in a point.
Well, not in this match, Dave, as we saw 7 hinders called in the first 20 rallies of this match. Right now, the play getting a little bit cleaner now, Dave, as the guys separating themselves a little bit from one another. But we saw so many rallies with so much congestion in the beginning of this match. I don't know if you chalk that up to, Dave, these guys not knowing each other's games all that well and not knowing where to go, or just coincidentally playing a lot of balls that were coming right back down the middle at one another.
I just think it was a little nervous energy. You see players get a little nervous and they start flipping balls into the corners, and it comes out toward the middle where the other player's already standing. But now, I think they're both in their comfort zones, Dave. We're seeing better rallies, too.
Marcos really is a tremendous get artist. Marcos Chavez, Dave, 38 years young. You'd think that that's past your
18,
prime,
third 17.
but he seems to be playing just as well, Dave, as he ever has. Great
There's
shot
that
there
laser
from
from Alan Garner gets another point. Going to 25. Alan, you have to remember, this is his first match of this tournament.
19,
Marcos, this is his
17.
4th, I believe.
This is the most critical time in a rally scoring game, Dave, because if you let your opponent get to 20 or 21-17, wow, it becomes really an uphill battle.
And a timeout being called now from Marco Chavez. This might be the first time we've ever seen Marcos take a timeout. And I think it comes at a very opportune time for him, because Alan Garner just is playing remarkable flat rollout to end Marcos's run on this live broadcast without calling a timeout.
Well, Alan Garner, Dave, was my pick to win this event, or to come out of the top half of the bracket. So I'll stick to that.
Let's watch his flat rollout from Alan Garner, who's already in the highlight reel for this tournament 4 times, and that comes from this round right here.
And Eric Hilgren stopping by, Dave, on the way to the LAAC game, where he's been able to coerce one of the spectators here to drive him and bring him back.
That's unbelievable.
Not an easy task, Dave, in this type of traffic, but one of the gentlemen here who doesn't even know Eric is going to drive 2 hours to the Staples Center, wait for him, and then drive him 2 hours back on the 405. Just great people here, Dave, at the LAAC, wanting to take care of the pros and also the pro hopefuls.
All 12 of them, they're great people. And we want to thank them for watching. Actually, to be honest, there is a viewing gallery off to the left and above where there's literally 150 to 200 people watching this match, and then thousands on the live broadcast.
But why, Dave, wouldn't they be watching from the prime seating location?
The prime seating, these are $500 seats.
Oh,
so these are those that are paying for $500.
I
This
did
is actually
see-
not the best viewing. The
I
best
did
viewing's
see
a
Eric
little higher.
Hilgren hand Nadia Alvarado Sr. 5 $100 crisp bills.
So now you know why.
But I did not see Erica Garner handing over any cash.
You see that she went out of the camera angle right there. She's over on the other adjacent court where there are no seats. She's actually on the line. They call riding the line here, where there's a line.
So that's kind of like watching the Cubs games from your apartment.
Yes.
You can see it, but it's not really a good seat, but it doesn't cost you
That's why
anything.
you're seeing her husband roll out a lot of balls standing on the right side of the court. He's doing that for his wife.
Okay. That's considerate.
Allen has 20. This is supposed to be a 60-second timeout, and it's turned out to be a 5-minute break. Don't
Well,
quite understand where the ref went or why this game is taking so long here. Last time we were on this camera angle, we had like 3 points that were ran off. Didn't realize that they actually were in play because we had the wrong camera angle.
Well, it looks like, Dave, this might have been an equipment change, either gloves or shirt, because Alan Garner did change his shirt. I found that I sweat more in this court, Dave, than I ever have. I went through 5 shirts in a match. Normally, I only change my shirt once or twice at the most. So I don't know, Dave. I know that you're very in tune with the weather and the conditions. Is there more humidity here? Or what is it, Dave, that creates all that sweat? Is it just a lot of hydration? Because I did hydrate quite a bit.
I don't know. It's this facility does seem to have
20
a lot
serving 17.
of humidity in the air in this facility, but I'm not sure what that will do. Also, there's just been some weather changes here. A lot of overcast clouds, and I think it's just humid outside to begin with.
Marcos comes back after that 6-minute timeout that he called and takes Alan Garner out of the server's box. That was a crucial point for him, and now Alan Garner with a terrible error, and it looked like the ball on Bombshell Dave was completely in control at 20-17 in the serve, and now he's missed consecutive shots, and that's just a terrible serve from Marcos, but Marcos in the rally now. And look at Marcos screening Allen on virtually every shot.
And Allen giving it back. This could be a setup for Alan Garner. He's going to go for that corner, misses it. He has another setup, doesn't miss that one, and then Marcos closes it out, now ties it at 20.
And that will definitely be a rally that Allen will look back on, Dave, and should he lose this game, he'd point to that rally that would have given him a 22-20 lead. He had 3 easy setups.
I'm surprised the ref didn't call any type of screen in the middle of that rally, though. I mean, it just seemed like they're a little too close.
And that's a terrible shot from Marcos. And Marcos with an even worse shot. That's one of his favorite shots, the open stance fist re-kill with his left hand. That time he just shanks it right into the ground. Not even close. And sloppy play here since that long timeout. Marcos nearly clips that side wall. It would have been a winning shot. Instead, the ball pops up off that left side wall into the back wall, and Alan Garner hits a driving pass out of Marcos's reach. It's a game of inches, Dave.
22. Serve 20.
Oh, and look at Alan Garner load up into that back wall shot, Dave. Really set his feet, used his lower body there, and just powered that ball into Marcos Chavez's stomach.
Oh, I thought Marcos was going to get a point there, and now it's going to be played over. Allen somehow got that ball back.
Well, Allen's got sneaky speed. It seems like when he really needs it, Dave, he has a burst. And he can make some really good gets, particularly moving forward.
23 serves 20.
Surprised Marcos didn't shoot that. Alan Garner does, Dave. Was that between his legs?
Between the leg, flat roll from Alan Garner to bring it 24-20. And a timeout being called from Marco Chavez. And if we can load that one back up onto the hopper, we have to see that. The crowd liked it here, all 13 people in the stands, in the lower stands now. The upper stands are just packed with hundreds. We can't hear them, but we can feel the vibrations.
I actually don't feel those vibrations, but
here it is. Look at that flat roll from Alan Garner.
I'm not sure Marcos knows that Alan hit that between his legs. Very upsetting for Marcos Chavez, who is trying to close the gap there and sees Alan Garner earn a game point with a between the legs flat kill off the back wall.
This is the men's quarterfinals. Winner will face Luis Moreno tomorrow at 10 a.m. In the lower bracket semifinal, it should be Dave Fink versus Sean Linning, but instead it'll be Nadia Operato versus Sean at 11 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. Sean Linning dispatched Luis Cordoba in 28 minutes earlier today. And Nadia Alvarado and Dave Fink, their match lasted over an hour and 20 minutes. Here it is, Alan Garner serving to take the first game, 24-20. Wow, that was remarkable, Dave. And he did that with so much conviction, too.
You have to have conviction when you're hitting that shot.
My gosh, that was an amazing overhand. He calls it the chisel.
21, serving 24.
21-24. He has to serve out here, or at least get to 24.
Yes, he'll have to win the next 3 rallies without Alan Garner scoring a point.
Wow, he went for it again, and he gets another point now, 22-24, Dave. If Marco Chavez gets his 23rd point,
24.
this place will erupt. Now he's going to the power serve. We've yet to see Marcos do that one.
Well,
he pins
a power
Alan Garner.
Serve. Alan Garner had a great look at that return of serve kill, but he lifted it, gave Marcos a huge back wall setup.
Marco pinned him, though, pinned him behind him and then took it down that lane. Here it is. If Marco scores this point, we go into overtime. It's a big setup for Alan Garner. This could be the first game, and it is. Alan Garner takes the first game, 25-23, after Marcos came back. Alan Garner takes game number 1. We'll have number 2 coming up right around the corner. Stay here at racefor8.com. Stick with us. And we are back for game number 2. Alan Garner takes game 1, 25-23. Game 2 here. Opening serve is a short. That works out in your favor because you were late.
Fortunately.
For the announcement here. Dave Fink alongside Dave Vincent. Alan Garner wearing the red shirt. Marco Chavez says, you know what? That power serve seemed to work with him a little bit. I'm going to go to that a little bit more here in the second game, but that's if he can get into the server's box.
Alan looks very comfortable right now, Dave. He's bending really well, and he's getting really low.
1-0.
Driving these kill shots. I believe, Dave, that first game loss will be too deflating for Marcos Chavez to come back from. And you're seeing now a very slow start here for Marcos, missing a couple shots that he normally would make. But, you know, right now, Dave, he's a little bit mentally deflated. He made a big push there at the end of that first game. Nearly came all the way back from 24-20. And instead, he's down 1 game to 0. And there's the misdirection kill pass that you mentioned earlier, Dave. Alan Garner leaning to the right, and Marcos Chavez threads the needle and goes behind him with a hard reverse. And Marcos Chavez played that point perfectly, had the fly kill opportunity that he wanted, and hit it right back to Alan Garner. The ball popping up off that left side wall for an easy setup. Surprised Marcos didn't go down the right wall there.
Marcos just came in and said that for this second game here that Alan's playing, he's really one of the best players he's ever played. He said he's just so difficult to play because his hands are so great in the front court that you can't get a ball by him, and when you do, he leans back and he's even more effective. Sort of like we were talking about Andy Nett, how good he is at leaning back off balance. Well, Alan is a left-handed off balance kill shot artist. He was killing balls between his legs, Dave.
Well, that was a fortunate break for Alan Garner when he did kill that shot between his legs.
It was a fortunate break for Alan Garner. Unfortunate for Marcos. Look at that little wrinkle Alan put on that power serve, and then he rolls it flat again. That's what, the 5th flat rollout in this match? Alan looks unbelievable.
Well, all Alan Garner needs is a little bit of confidence, Dave, and he's unstoppable. I know Alan Garner has not had the season thus far that he would have liked or that a lot of people would have expected from him, but the season's about 2/3 of the way over, and I wouldn't be surprised if Alan Garner picked up these last 2 stops. Dave, he would get himself back into the mix in that top 4, top 3 with consecutive wins. Obviously, he has a long way to go, but I just wouldn't be surprised, Dave, with the talent of Alan Garner. It's only a matter of time before Alan starts knocking off some of these big names. Let's also not forget, Dave, that Alan's lovely wife, Erica, is here watching, and he tends to play quite a bit better and more inspired handball when Erica's in the gallery. We saw Erica made her tournament debut at the World Championships in 2009, arguably Alan Garner's best ever showing, where he knocked off Owen Kennedy, Dave Chapman, and Luis Moreno before losing to Paul Brady 11-7 in the tiebreaker in the final there. Went on the next week with Erica Garner in tow and won the Wide 2K event, defeating Emmett Peugeot and Luis Moreno. Then later in that year, or excuse me, early in the next year, winning the NYAC Invitational, where he beat Dave Chapman and Emmett Peugeot once again.
Serving 2.
Score here is 8-2. Second game, Alan Garner playing inspired ball, Dave. And look at that natural hook that he has. With a guy that's able to hit hooks both ways, it's remarkable when you see those flat rollouts on the front wall, because it takes going over the top of the ball. And I know you say Alan does it a lot, but we've seen a lot of flat rolls flat on the ground, and if you go underneath it with a natural, it's just not going to do that, even if you hit it perfect. You can hit those perfect shots on the front wall with a natural hook, and it'll actually bounce up. You have to go over the top of the ball to keep it down. Or
I think if you hit the natural with a slight descending blow, that it will stay down and roll out
With
flat.
that power that he has, though, I don't know how you hit a slight descending blow. And Allen's hitting these as lasers. So he's not doing it with a natural hook. He's going over the top, but everything we see from him mid-range is with a natural. So somehow he's telling himself when he wants to go over and when not to. And I find that just absolutely remarkable. Alan Garner right now in command over Marcos Chavez, who's had a great tournament thus far. Some people were picking Marcos to take this match, and you can see that Alan Garner has taken it a step further here.
I believe, Dave, that Alan Garner would have won this second game regardless of the outcome of that first game, but very difficult for Marcos Chavez to climb back up that mountain after dropping that first game, particularly with 3 matches under his belt, to Alan Garner's 0. See some emotion there from Marcos Chavez, pumping himself up.
3, serving 9.
Heard the score there, 3-9.
And this is what Marcos Chavez needs. A
4,
couple of
serving
Alan
9.
Garner airs. Alan Garner cooling down just a little bit. And then some of that Marcos magic to bring him back into this match.
See how that ball jumps up from Allen. He hit it about 3 inches high, but
That's an avoidable hinder.
Point, Allen point.
There's should be no possible way that Marcos can argue this call, Dave. That's a textbook.
You move this way, and then you were to the right of him, you moved in front of him, then duck. You move this way and duck.
Marcos has a good argument, but he had plenty of time to get out of the way. He's saying, I had nowhere to go, so I just ducked.
That was as obvious and avoidable as if someone picked up a ball on 4 bounces.
And there's a point again for Alan Garner, and Marcos has to be frustrated right here. But I do like the fire from Marcos. Some players that are off the pro tour,
11,
they see themselves down, they just give up. He's actually still fighting.
Who are those players, Dave?
Well, I don't want to name names.
Okay, I just don't know of any players that. There's another really close play there from Marcos. And you know, Dave, that you can't show somebody a shot and then jump in front of them while they're hitting.
That's true.
Serving 4.
Marcos overhits that ball. Alan Garner is one of the best off the back wall. You know, Alan's one of the best of just capitalizing on your overhits, Dave. I know that's not a stat that we keep, but
it should be.
There was a time when Alan Garner was winning matches because people were overhitting balls.
Well, Alan Garner's got arguably the best back wall game in the sport. And when you're overhitting against Alan Garner, those are back wall setups, and he'll take advantage.
I was reviewing the WPH message board, and I saw that post from Fred Lewis recently that was talking about, it was on your player race records thread.
5, serving 13.
And I'd like to go over some of the things that he is talking about just to get your opinion on the fly here. 5-13 as we watch these rallies develop, and there's another point for Alan Garner. He said before the year is over, the players should be polled to determine
14,
who
serving
they
5.
feel are the best in the following categories. 1 is the serve, as we watch that serve from Alan Garner. Who do you think has the best serve on the tour right now? We're talking about the race for 8. We'll leave Paul Brady and Robbie McCarthy out of this discussion because they don't really participate in the race. Talking about the race for 8.
I would have to say probably Nadia Alvarado.
The best serve?
I think so, yeah. I think everyone returns serve a little differently. Some people read
6,
certain
14.
players' serves better than others. Just seems like, for me, Dave, that I have the hardest time reading the Nadia Alvarado serve, and he hits a lot of great serves also. I feel like I'm aced a lot more against Nadia than I am against any of the other top servers who I would include. Luis and Sean and also Charlie Shanks. Andy Nett also with a great serve, though.
So you're saying Nadi Alvarado for your serve.
Seven, serving 14.
Score here is 7-14. I believe the best, just from a spectator standpoint, 'cause I'm not playing these guys, I think it's Luis Moreno. So I'm going to put that down on our little list here. The next question he asks, now we're talking about the great Fred Lewis
14.
here. He's won 6 national championships. Who has the best return of serve?
Well, I would say Dave Chapman ordinarily, but we didn't see much of Dave Chapman on the Race Freight Pro Tour this season, and when we did, he was not really the Dave Chapman that we've seen over the last couple of years.
8.
So I would actually say
14.
Luis Moreno for return of serve, and he returns the serve with offense.
A lot of clapping on this side of the sports club that we're at the Los Angeles Athletic Club for Marco Chavez. I am going to agree with you on that return of serve and say that Luis Moreno too. I believe there are others that play. Yeah, again, Dave Chapman is the best return of serve artist, but he's injured, and I almost have to take him out of this discussion. If we're talking about all time, I'm going to put him up there with the Paul Habers. But right now, I'm just going to say that it is Luis Moreno. I think Sean Lenning has a good return of serve, but I've also seen him make a lot of misses on his return of serve. He is very aggressive. I think Alan Garner is a very good return of serve artist as well. But I'm going to give it to Luis Moreno. The next question that the great Fred Lewis said, who has the best kill shot in the game?
Well, if you go back throughout the careers of these Race Freight players, Dave, I would say it's Alan Garner, but this season, his kill shot has not been as consistent. So if we're talking about just
14.
this year, I would say Sean Lenning, Dave.
Short.
With the best kills. He's been killing the ball extremely well with his left hand this year.
Both agree,
that
second serve.
Dramatically improved left hand that he was able to improve by resting his right arm when he had those right shoulder problems. Sean Lenning's now become a two-handed offensive juggernaut as opposed to before, Dave, when he had that devastating right, but maybe not that same type of threat with his left hand.
I'm going to also agree with you on that, Sean Lenning.
And you said the best serve was Luis Moreno?
I felt that Luis Moreno had the best serve. Sorry that I went against you.
No,
on
no,
the serve.
Didn't know if you voted on that category.
Yeah, Luis Moreno
I
had the
don't
best serve,
disagree
but I've
with you.
agreed with you on the
10,
next
30,
the next two.
14.
Okay.
10-14 is the score here, second game. Marco's trying to catch up to Alan Garner. Fred Lewis said, who has the best pass shot? Now, we're only talking about the Race Freight this season.
Well, I would say without a question, Luis Moreno. It seems like we don't see that many passes anymore on the Pro Tour.
11, serving 14.
Well, I think Alan Garner is right up there on that list, but I also agree with you on that Luis Moreno.
Second serve.
I hate agreeing with you so much, but now this one is going to probably bring a different answer from you. Who plays the best defense so far, Dave Fink, on this Race Freight Tour as we edge toward the semifinals here at this men's quarterfinal, the last quarterfinal match of the day?
I have to really think about that, but I'm going to have to go with Alan Garner on that. Alan Garner does not give you many opportunities. I feel like the match is always in Alan Garner's hands because he's always dictating play
15,
and pushing you
serving
around.
11.
Doesn't give you those big setups that you might get from some of the other top guys.
You know,
second serve.
This is a strange Race Freight season because we only seen Emmett Bichotte play for the since Fresno, Salt Lake City, Atlanta here. That's 4 out of the 7 stops. And he has been defensive, and you can tell that because some of his matches are, and I just reviewed this on YouTube, when he plays a match, it's over 55 minutes. A lot of the other players, you'll see 38 minutes on YouTube. You'll see 47. With him, it's 57, an hour and 13, an hour and 35. There has to be a lot of defense there.
16,
What about
11.
a guy like Tommy Little, who played in almost every single stop? Would you throw him into the best defensive category? What about a Dave Chapman?
Well, when you talk about great defense, to me, it's not necessarily who has the best ceiling shot. It's more who gives you the least amount of opportunities to shoot the ball. I consider that playing great
12,
defense.
13,
So when I play a guy that I feel like I'm never really setting up to shoot the ball, I feel like he's playing great defense.
Beautiful shot right there from Alan Garner. What about a John Bike, for example?
John Bike has
17,
amazing
serve
defense.
12.
Can we include him? He only qualified for 2 stops. Now, is there a minimum qualification process?
There should probably be more rules to this. Best defense, you have Alan Garner, but he's playing the best
13,
offense I've seen in
17.
so long. 13-17 is a score here. I felt like the first half of the season you played more defense than you had in the second half, and that's probably a tribute to the
14,
fact that
serving 17.
you took a lot of time off to play tennis and golf and what you do in the off season. Now you're getting into indoor sports like a lot of players do.
15,
I'm going to go with
serving
Dave
17.
Chapman, although I do see why you're going with Alan Garner. And I don't know if I can argue any of that, honestly.
Marco Chavez is on fire right now, Dave, closing the gap to just 1 point. These players, Dave, are separated by just 3 points in
16,
1.5 games. Alan Garner winning the first game 25-23, now leading 17-16. So you can see just how close these guys are. Very evenly matched.
Oh, I thought I was going to see that overhand tomahawk come down from Marcos, who then dives in. He stays down. Alan jumps over him. The referee gave it to him, and
Marcos looks like he lifted up a little bit there, Dave. That could have been called an avoidable.
Marco's looking back at the referee, but they're going to go for a towel. Alan Garner is going to get a point. Fred Lewis says, who has the best opposite hand? Let's assume that Alan Garner's opposite is his left. Let's just go down the list. Sean Linning's opposite hand would be his left, and I would say that, well, I'm going to say it right now that that Sean Linning gets that. Luis Moreno's opposite is his left. Nadia Alvarado's opposite is his left. Alan Garner, it's really kind of up in the air, but I guess his opposite is his left.
What would you consider Emmett Peixote's opposite to be?
It's supposed to be his left because he is right-handed. So are you going to go with Emmett?
I will go with Emmett because his opposite hand is not only as good as his strong hand, it's considerably better than his strong hand. You see a guy like Alan Garner, his left and right are about even. Sean Lenning's left is almost as good as his right, but not quite as good. I would say Luis Moreno's left not quite as good as his right, certainly not at shooting the ball.
But Alan Garner should win this award, and we're not giving him the credit he deserves. I mean, his left
I
is
think if you're looking at the
unbelievable.
disparity,
What were you saying?
if you're talking about the disparity between the two hands, Alan Garner's left and right are almost identical. Maybe his left's a little bit better, but Emmett's left is just so much better than his right. I would go with Emmett. I definitely feel like Emmett controls the matches with his left hand.
I'm going to go with Alan Garner.
Okay. I'm not going to say that's a bad choice by any means.
No, I don't think we can debate that. The next one might be debatable, though. Fred Lewis asks, who has the best speed on the Race Rate Tour?
I'm going to say Luis Moreno. Sean Lenning, when he wants to clamp down, Dave, and decides to go for every ball, I believe is about the fastest player I've ever seen, about the best getters I've ever seen, but he doesn't do it consistently. Luis Moreno throughout this entire season has consistently played every point as hard as he can.
There's a glove change going on here. Marco Chavez said to the referee, we have to do something here. Alan's gloves are wet, and I missed that ball because it slid, and it's not fair because we have to play bad bounces. And he came in to our booth there while we're trying to talk and was very frustrated. And I do like to see that fire from Marcos. It shows that he really wants to win this. Fred Lewis says, who has the best stamina on the Race for 8 Tour this season? If you're going to quantify that in some way, would you say Luis Cordova?
I would say one of the Luises, Luis Moreno or Luis Cordova, but I will, judging by what I saw today from Luis Cordova, looked a little bit tired against Sean Lenning. I haven't seen Luis Moreno look tired at all this season, so I definitely will go with an emphatic Luis Moreno for best stamina.
There's no way to disagree with you.
18, serving 16.
I know that the sponsors love when we disagree. Look at that huge natural hook from Alan Garner.
Second serve.
Alan overhitting that Z serve, comes way out off the back wall, right side wall, and Marco Chavez finds the right corner. Both these guys,
18.
Dave, incredible in rolling the ball out in the corners.
This is a close one, 17 to 18. How Marcos is able to keep up with that power from Alan Garner is beyond me. Waiting for the call from the referee.
All right, play it over.
I can't believe the referee didn't make a quicker call on that. Marcos
didn't make much of a move for that ball. He played
well,
the man
got stuck.
more.
He got stuck
17,
behind
18.
Alan Garner. If you saw a replay, you'd see that he just basically ran into him, so he stopped.
Just a terrible serve from Marcos, Dave. You know, Marcos trying to climb his way back into this match
19,
and just
serving
giving
17.
Alan Garner points with these soft serve setups.
That's a revolving door where Marcos has
And
done
that's
so
what
well.
Marcos is talking about, Dave, between games when he said this guy has the best hands in the front court, and you saw it there. Alan Garner was jammed, but he just flicks the wrist and hits a beautiful
20, serving
re-kill.
17.
20 serve 17. Who has the best ceiling shot, Dave, in the Race for 8 this season?
I would say Dave Chapman. His bad knee doesn't seem to prevent him from hitting those amazing ceiling shots that just die in the back corners.
What about sportsmanship?
I would
Okay,
say
you
Alan
got
Garner.
20, serving 17.
Alan Garner is about the most fair player I've ever seen. He's also unbelievably well-mannered and evenly tempered. You'll never see an argument from Alan Garner.
20, serving
In fact,
17.
Alan Garner is one of those guys who will actually give his opponent a call if he knows that a ball was a hinder. He'll actually reverse the referee's call. That's how Alan Garner plays. Very honest
21, serving 17.
handball player. Did you vote yet on that category, Dave?
Yeah, actually, I skipped the last two because I agreed with you on both of them.
Okay.
I hate doing that. I'll have to admit it. Alan Garner at 21, Marco Chavez at 17. Make it 22 to 17. Who's the best referee of all the pro players?
21, serving 17.
I'm wrong again. It is 21 to 17. Marcos is appealing the serve.
Huh? Both disagree, short serve.
Tough break there for Alan Garner.
Both lines judges disagreed.
On the verge of taking this match. Now he'll be back at 21.
Let's pan over and see what Alan is talking about here. Alan's trying to kick out the line judges. He knows that this is Marcos's home court.
Can we do replays? Is that? Can we still do Omar?
We
No,
can't.
we're not, Alan, we're not doing replays
We
anymore.
can't do replays, but
Not
we
doing
will do a
replays anymore.
replay. That
Second
ball's
serve.
good.
I agree with you, Dave, and I agreed when the serve was hit that the ball was well over the line. I'm shocked that two of the lines
21,
people
serving 17.
called that
second
short.
Serve.
I'd love for Omar to make sure to relay that message to the line judges that the ball was good on video replay, and that was
Well,
good
Omar
by
doesn't
about
actually speak to spectators. I don't
2
blame him.
inches. No, he'll tell them. Wow. When he wants to hit the ball hard, he really can. Unbelievable play from Alan Garner. Dave Fink, according to Fred Lewis's survey, who's the best referee of these elite players that we watch?
22,
Still
serving
thinking about that.
17.
Haven't come to a decision yet.
It's a tough one because you're one of the toughest on the referees, but you're also one of the lead refs, so I know that maybe you have to disdain from this vote here. I know how difficult it could be for you.
I don't like to play favorites with my referees.
I know how you like
serve 17.
certain things about Luis Moreno and how he calls a match. I thought Nadi Alvarado did the one time that he did ref this year on this race for 8. He did a great job.
18, serving 23.
18 to 23. Marco Chavez has to go on some type of run here. And it just seems that the more Alan Garner plays, the more he does shots like this right here. Look at that thing. Off the back wall, automatic for Alan Garner.
And you called that shot, Dave, well before it happened. You knew Alan Garner was going 2 inches
match
high down
point,
the right
serves
wall.
18.
I thought Alan Garner had 23, but maybe it is match point.
Well,
Dave.
side out gave him the 24
Okay.
on that off the back wall shot. I like
Inside
that.
out pass, but Alan Garner tracks it down.
And there it is. Alan Garner takes down Marco Chavez, advances to the semifinals, which will take place tomorrow at 10 a.m. Moreno versus Alan Garner, and then at 11 it'll be Nadi Alvarado and Sean Lenning. We'll have more action tomorrow morning here from the Los Angeles Athletic Club. For Linda Manning, Dave Fink, Omar Lemus, and Ashley Moeller, my name is Dave Vincent. The crowd's sticking around here. They finally showed up, Dave, and yet it's time to say goodbye. Are you going to leave us hanging on your best referee?
I'm going to go with Luis Moreno.
I'm going to go with Alan Garner. We'll talk more later.
Okay.
You have a good one. Have a nice night. Stay here at racefor8.com.
My name is Bruce Fabrizio. In 1975, I invented Simple Green based on 3 principles. It had to be safer to use, it had to work, and it had to be completely made in America. From generation to generation, Simple Green has been cleaning everything from car engines and tools to kitchen counters and floors. No matter what you clean, indoors or outdoors, clean it with non-toxic, biodegradable Simple Green.
For 20 years, the Inner City Handball Association has educated, mentored, and served young people through handball. Young people that participate in the Inner City Handball Association programs have a high graduation rate from high school and continue on to college. Inner City Handball teams are good athletes, good students, and good ambassadors for the sport of handball. We need your help to continue our work. Inner City Handball Association is a registered 501c3 tax-exempt charity. Please donate today. Thank you.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
It's time to join forces. Get energized and fuel up right. Because starting today, every kid in America has a mission. Bring out the action hero in you. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.